Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Time for a review, and it's not a good one. I know. All right. Fairy Tale by Stephen King. I did not finish. I made it to page 256, almost halfway done with it. So 0 stars. All right. Before I start to say what it's about, why I didn't like it, can I just say that I'm getting very disappointed with the new books coming out by Stephen King / Dean Koontz. It's like they're coming out 2-3 books a year, and it's just pumping books out, and the quality is just not there. Just the stories bore me. Like, I'm sorry, I finished Billy Summers, but man, it took me forever to get to the end, which was like the best part of the book. I digress. Same thing. I don't even want to talk about Quicksilver by Koontz. Moving on. All right, so Fairy Tale is a very, 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 very slow book. It starts off with, now I can't remember his name. Charlie, our main character, a boy, who one day walks by his neighbor's house and hears the dog barking. And I think he hears like a cry for help. So he goes and sees his elderly neighbor, Mr. Bowditch, on the ground. He hurt himself. He fell off a ladder. So he calls 911, the ambulance calls and gets the owner, and then Charlie starts taking care of the dog while he's in the hospital. Really, that's like the first 50 pages to 100 pages. Ridiculous. Anyways, so while he's in the hospital, Mr. Bowditch says, hey, I got this gold. You can pay for my hospital bill when I get out with this gold. Take it to this jeweler. He finds these weird little pellets of gold. Takes the jeweler, gets money to pay off the hospital bill. So finally, Mr. Bowditch comes home, and Charlie helps him set up his house, takes care of him and his dog. And then Mr. Bowditch has a heart attack and dies. So after he dies, Charlie finds this recorded tape recorder of Mr. Bowditch talking about the shed and what's in the shed. That there's this well in the shed that goes out to this other world. And literally, like, you're at kind of like page 100, 150 by the time this happens. So Charlie's like, oh, I'm going to check out this world, because apparently Mr. Bowditch says that he has gotten younger by going to this world, by going on the sundial, but there's a price to pay, which he wouldn't say what it was. So Charlie goes down to check out the world, meets a nice lady who is very gray and has deformities, but she's very nice. And where I stopped at was he took Radar to the world because he wants Radar to become younger, the dog, instead of dying. And he's on now on a, I guess you would call it a venture to get him to the sundial. So that's where I stopped. Okay. Like I said, very, very, very slow. I don't know what's going on with his newest books, but they are so achingly slow to get to a good part. And I'm like, do I really want to read another 250 pages of this? And what kind of snapped me out of it was, me and my husband were out for breakfast this morning, and I said, oh, I'm getting through this fairy tale. And he goes, how is it? And I had to pause to actually give him an answer. So I knew I didn't like it, because I actually had to pause to tell him, it's okay. And I'm like, you know what? I actually don't like it. And that's what made me realize, why am I still reading this if I don't like it? Even now that he's back in this other world, it's still boring. I'm not liking the character, Charlie. I'm not liking anything about it. And I'm like, why am I still reading this? Do I really want to wait till the end and go, ugh, I wasted this is like the second time I checked it out. I've wasted almost 2 months on this book. Maybe 3 if I actually were to finish it. For what? When there's so many other good books out there that are less pages and probably more exciting. And since I'm going to be starting Mr. Mercedes, I might as well start that next and stop reading this. Because I'd rather read old Stephen King and old Koontz instead of reading their newest stuff, because their newest stuff is just not impressing me. All right, I'm done with my tirade. All right, so that's my review, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love this book, but for me, it just did not click with me. And there are a few Stephen Kings I didn't like. Lazy Story. Dr. Sleep. So once again, that's Fairy Tale by Stephen King. The cover's amazing, though. I love the cover. I'm giving it 0 stars because I did not finish it. I made the page 256. So it's a no-go for me. All right. That's it for me today. Everyone have a great Sunday. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend like I am. And I'll see you guys next time.